Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting. Welcome to another Tuesday Night Gold Panning Fever, episode number 185. So let me catch up on chat really quick. A little delayed today, just wouldn't load up on YouTube. I've just been sitting here waiting for YouTube to say it was okay to hit that go live button. Donna, thank you for being here and being early, really early. Thank you, Donna. And HD, thank you both for being here and being mods. Brad Thompson, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. B&B Paydirt Prospecting. David Danderan. Who else we got? John Gear, how's it going? Adino Littlehale, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. KC Sarang, what's up, brother? Michael Reed, MCD Prospecting, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Brad Thompson, no worries, no worries. Stephen LeBlanc, how's it going? James Stoddy from Golden Dragon Prospecting, how's it going? New name. Thank you for joining the show. Who else we got? And I'm also trying to read chat while I'm saying it. Mike from the Gold Vlog, thank you for joining the show. And if anyone hasn't already seen it, go over to his channel at the Gold Vlog and make sure you put in your guess. He is giving away some gold. I didn't get to watch the whole video, so I don't know what you're giving away. I did see that you had to guess on 2 nuggets, though. So make sure you go over there and guess. Don't do like I do and watch half the video, then go do a live show. You know. Curtis Gissinger, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Humble Stacker, how's it going? Aaron Mack, SRIP63, how's it going? And how are you doing, Michael Reed? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it, brother. Hopefully eBay's been kind to you in your sales. Pulled pork tacos. There you go, brother. That's a good one. I'm having a sweet and sour chicken tonight. After the show, of course. Jeffrey Button, Aaron Mack, thank you for joining the show. David, thank you very much. Way too kind, brother. I really appreciate that. Way too kind. Alaskan Assassin, how's it going? Carlin Medley. Annie Stevens, thank you for joining the show from Bear Prospecting. Appreciate it. And Wrenches, Repairs and Prospecting. How's it going, brother? Still no Wrenches Paydirt on the shelf of wonder. It'll get here eventually. Package total, how's it going? All right, everyone, let me pop out chat so I can move it. Look at my ugly face while I'm doing it. There we go. Get the old stream set up. There we go. There we go. Chris W, how's it going? So yeah, today's show is going to be a little special one if you're our Patreon member. Today we're going to be going through another bag of Mexican Paydirt from Goldbay, aka goldfeverprospecting.com. And this one is supposed to have a nugget inside. And I will tell you, this is a 10-gram bag. And I won't do an ROI or anything on it because I contacted Dave and told him I wanted a 10-gram bag. But I wanted a big nugget in it, just so people could guess on the nugget. So this is supposed to. Now, not 100% sure it is and does have a nugget because I talked to Dave and he said he would forward the information to Harrigan over at Gold Fever Prospecting and that it was done deal. But I haven't panned it out yet. But if it is in there like it's supposed to be, then you'll be able to see the gold nugget that we're going to be guessing on in tomorrow's Patreon post. I will make a video for tomorrow, so you'll be able to watch the video of the nugget next to a dime and all that. But tonight you'll get to see me pan it out. So you'll get to see it with boulders and rocks. You'll get to see it in a pan and all kinds of things. So Brad Thompson, how's it going? I was just looking at your email and stuff right before, and I was like, oh man, I'll help him write a description. I'll help him write a description. And I will. But, you know, I will reply to your email. I saw your email, but, you know, it's getting ready for the show and stuff like that. So, but that is awesome. At the very least, even if I never review you, I'll have to ask you. I mean, I guess I can ask you here. Do you plan on permanently selling, or is this just like a little, you know, like I got some spare time, let me, you know, sell a couple bags and be done. But if you're going to sell permanently, I will put you on my list for secret shoppers. So if you're not, if it's just like a one-time thing and you just happen to want to put a website together to sell a one-time thing, then I'll get a bag for my shelf. You know. Gold Baron, how's it going? Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it. Let me move this to live chat. Drives me crazy. And Brad, and thank you very much, Brad. Thank you very much. You could have just, I would have posted it, the info. You didn't have to tip me, but I appreciate the tip. Dean Olson, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. You finally got the bags in. Yeah, you're like me. See, I do the same thing, Wrench. I like, I'm going to sell some Paydirt. And then I'll post it and start selling it. And then I'll realize, oh, man, I put up 20 bags, or, like my cans or something. I'll say, oh, I'm going to sell 20 cans. And I'll realize I only have like 3. They're like, oh, now I got to order more. I got to order more stickers. I got to do this. All right, there we go. All right, I'm trying to make sure I've caught up. If I miss anyone in chat, I apologize. But I think Troubled One has it going. Thank you for joining the show. There we go. I think I got everyone. Ortiz, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Nightbot, thank you for joining the show. I really appreciate it. American Gold Prospectors, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Oh, yeah, so KC, it's included. That's total. So the total weight for this bag should be 10 grams. Now, again, there might be a little bit more. Now that Dave's not in control of this, I don't see Goldbay. So Goldbay, if you're a long timer and you've been panning out Goldbay kind of used to be like Yukon Alley or Culver Prospecting, more like Yukon Alley though, where sometimes you'd get to buy a 1 gram bag and you'd get almost 2 grams from Goldbay. Goldbay used to be notorious. That's why he was so popular in the old days, is you'd get a lot more gold sometimes than what you paid for. Since he's not handling it anymore, I'm pretty sure that Harrigan's probably a lot more stingy on the gold and doesn't put as much in there. But it's a 10 gram bag that includes a nugget. So it includes a nugget. So when in the final show off at the end of this video, you'll see 10 grams in the pan total. And 1 will be the nugget. So, and a good question, Casey. And again, tomorrow I will post a normal Patreon Guess the Gold video, and it will be up here on YouTube, and I'll show it next to a dime, and then I'll take some pictures of it and then post it onto Patreon for everyone to stare at and look at. Go on Google and try and find nuggets. Go to Gold Nugget Sales, start matching their nuggets next to their dimes and see how it goes. And speaking of Paydirt also, yeah, Ortiz still has 1 bag of Paydirt left. It's over on my Patreon. I think it's the second to last post. I've only made 1 post since then. And he's got 1 bag left. So I got my Yukon Alley Paydirt. Yeah, I got mine Saturday, I think. It's up here on the shelf now. So I got mine Saturday. And that is a loaded bag of Yukon Alley Paydirt because she told me after I ordered it and she saw it was for me, because it is for me. It was just for a Tuesday show. I didn't want to have a review on it. Everyone should know by now I love Yukon Alley. I love her Paydirt. Even I seldom get to review her because she sells out too quickly by the time I have secret shoppers, and then by the time I get the Paydirt in, she's already stopped selling. But I wanted this bag for a live show, and she told me she put in a whole bunch of that little extra secret sauce that she puts in there. So just want to let you know, my 2 gram Klondike bag gave me 1.955, but I didn't read the fines there, mixed in with others close enough. I'm assuming that's from Felix Paydirt. I'm 100% sure it's got 2 grams in there. They're pretty good. They've been in business for 30 years selling Paydirt. It's probably 1 little piece. I would bet money that you're probably missing 1 little piece, because they do occasionally have some of that really dark, nasty gold. It's probably 1 little piece and a couple fines. So, but yeah, every bag I did was really like 2.005 or It was pretty much on the dot. At those prices, I didn't think they would put any extra stuff in there. So I got 166 ROI for my Yukon Alley 1 gram bag. Yeah, Yukon Alley's just crazy. So strategically sent the email right before the show. So usually on Tuesdays, I don't have anything to do with the computer or anything else like that until like an hour before. Before the live show, I have to go and load everything onto my USB drive, and then bring it down here and put everything on my USB drive down here. So I always check my emails and everything just in case, So yeah, it's a perfect timing. But yeah, and in case anyone doesn't know how Yukon Alley makes her Paydirt. So Yukon Alley, she takes her Paydirt, she makes her Paydirt, she puts whatever the pound of material in there. She adds the 1 gram of gold if you're buying a 1 gram bag. And then she takes 1 scoop. She has her super fine concentrate. She keeps a nice little bucket of it next to her. And she takes 1 tablespoon and adds it in. So it's just random what extra you're going to get. So she guarantees you 1 gram, but then to make it a little sweeter, because most Paydirt sellers do, they don't want you to get exactly 1 gram. They want you to get, that 1.1 or 1.05 or something like that. And that's what she takes the tablespoon of. And those tablespoons, it's all concentrates. These are concentrates that come out of their sluice after they've, worked them down in a table and everything else. So it is super concentrates. And that's why some people in that 1 tablespoon will be a gram of gold sometimes. And people are finding horrendous amounts. So I told her, I begged her once already that I wish she would just sell those scoops by themselves. Just put them in a little bitty bag, like, $25 per scoop. I mean, no guarantee or anything. It'd just be one little pan because it's all going to be fine gold. It's not going to be anything chunky. It's not going to be anything like that. It's all going to be super fine gold. Just throw it in the bag, $25 plus $5 shipping, $30, You might get a gram, you might get a quarter gram, you might get nothing, But I don't know, maybe one day. Maybe if everyone begs her. Gene Cloth, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Shane Prothero, 12th man Brett, how's it going? 5 gram bag today. I'm panning it now while watching you. Yeah, Yukon Alley has a lot of that dark, chunky gold. So even small, chunky gold, it's got all that ironstone staining on it. So, have a 3 gram. Yeah, mine's a 5 gram, I think. Yeah, mine's a 5 gram bag. When I originally went to go order it, I was just like, I'm gonna buy a 1 gram bag for a live show just to do. But she was sold out of the 1 grams when I went to the site, and I was like, well, if I got to choose between a 3 gram and a 5 gram, I'm gonna get the 5 gram. So I saw someone get 3 grams out of 1 gram bag. Yeah, it's crazy. Like even she tells me every season, she tells me the same thing. Every season when she starts doing it. Who was it? So I'll talk about this in a second. But every year she tells me as soon as she starts on, oh man, I'm seeing these reviews. These people are finding so much gold. I'm getting too, and she knows she's being too, tablespoons have too much gold in them. And that's why I keep telling her every year, I'm like, I will go up there and I will pan out all your concentrates for you and find all that gold for you. 10% fee. Flower Gold Wizards. Is this that channel shows off gold? We were going to be. Right now, it's still in the dirt. So right now, it's all still in the dirt, see? There's gold in there. I've seen some little bitty pieces in there. So yeah, we will be showing off some gold at some point there, Jason. I would have already found it if I had a dog. My cat's just in the other room eating. He won't come in here and find the gold for me, so. All right, Aaron Mack. Well, I hope you do. If not, thank you for joining the show. Carson Prospecting, thank you for joining the show. I am Zaxxon. Thank you for joining the show as well. Kristen Reed. My chat with Snafood. Oh, really? Was YouTube having an error? No. But, so what was I going to say about Yukon Alley? Now I forgot. You help her find that gold. I didn't say she would stop because she gets more every year. That's the thing, is she gets more every year. See, that's the stuff that she probably sends off to the smelter at the end of the year. So, I mean, she sends all whatever she has left over to go to the smelters every year. They all do. They got to make money to buy equipment for the following year. So she gets more every single year. Oh, but that's what I want to tell about Yukon Alley. Somebody did a review on her. It's a really short review. And for the life of me, I can't remember who it is. That they made a song for her. It is such an awesome song. Unfortunately, I saved it to my hard drive upstairs, and I don't have it down here where I would play it. But it is such an awesome song that they made for Yukon Alley. And she told me she was crying, so it's such an awesome song. Not much, Carson, not much. Oh, Carson, how you been doing, brother? Did you... I saw your thing, and again, congratulations on doing so much for the Wounded Warriors Project. And everyone in the chat, if you helped out with the Carson Prospecting Wounded Warrior Project and my Kilfano thing, thank you all very much. It was so awesome. So it was Mr. Minix. That was it. So, I knew that in like 45 minutes after the show would end, I'd be like, oh, that was Mr. Minix. It just, when you're talking in live, you can't remember anything. Your brain gets like really, really small when you're on a live show. So the Empty Pan, that's who found. I don't know if I'm subscribed to him. I'll have to look him up afterwards. Let me see. Where's my pen? Empty Pan. I might, as a little side project, as some of you know, like HD, they might, I love to do research on stuff. I love to do research. And, you know, if you ever see any of my posts on Facebook, you'll know I tend to like overdo it looking for stuff and researching stuff. Same with Paydirt and things like that. You know, if I see somebody posting something that I think is a scam or something like that, I will go through great details. You know, when Lynch Mining closed up shop, when Big Texas, you know, was doing his thing, when the guy Prospector Golden Gems claimed he had a burglary that, you know, $250,000 was stolen from his warehouse, and I wanted to do a video on it. I do a lot of research and I always do stuff, but I might have to start digging through all the reviews of all Yukon Alley to see what the average ROI is off all her stuff that she does. So then we'll have to do that. Is anyone else following the New Forest Friend treasure hunt beyond the map's edge? No, I haven't even heard of that. I am so out of the loop. I'm gonna write this down too. I always walk out of this show with a list of things to look up. And treasure hunt. Well, I will be now. I love a good treasure hunt. So, is GS Prospecting in the house? GS Prospecting, what's up? The smiling GS Prospecting. How's it going? How close are you? Again, if anyone doesn't know, I don't know if Chatbot is set to post it tonight, but if y'all didn't know, GS Prospecting is doing a raffle fundraiser. I think he's only got a couple spots left. Maybe he'll post on here how many spots he has left. There's $25 a spot. The prizes, as far as I know, are still a 5-gram bag of Paydirt and 2 half-gram bags of Paydirt from Miller Prospecting. So, yeah, Yukon Alley. That's what I'm saying. Anything that's extra in Yukon Alleys is going to be what she puts in her table scoop of fine. So it's all going to be fine gold. That's why nobody's finding like 2 grams of chunky gold in her stuff. They might find a gram of, you know, plus and minus and plus 10 all the way down to minus 40. But if they get over the 1 gram, it's all that fine stuff. So there we go. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything in chat. Chat's very, very busy tonight. Gregory Littleton, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. And again, Glenn Timmons, thank you for joining the show. Been a while. How you been doing? Sounds like a Jack Sparrow movie. It does. It does. You know, I can just imagine that music now. Now when I'm watching this or following it or reading or whatever this Forest Fen treasure hunt is, now I'm going to have that Pirates of the Caribbean music in my head now. Thank you very much, Jason. It's a Netflix show. All right, I'll definitely have to look up that. So I don't have Netflix technically, but you know, I still watch all the Netflix stuff. So all right, GS Prospecting, congratulations. So congratulations. I'll have to be looking for that. I'll be curious to see who wins that. And just let me know, GS, whoever wins my, since you're not going to probably be doing it live, just let me know and forward me the emails of whoever wins my 2 bags of Paydirt. So I'm sure, based on the videos I've seen, I know 90% of the people that have contributed. So just let me know who wins the 2 half-gram bags, and I will send them off to them. So, but that is so awesome, brother. I really hope the little pupper helps, you know. But all right, everybody, it's time to pan some Paydirt. Let's move. Get rid of the ugly mug. We've looked at me long enough. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And gold is going down. Gold is going down. Just we'll talk about that while we. Last I looked, it was at $95. It went all the way up to 101, like 60, 101.60, and it's down to 95 a gram. Which, you know, I'm not complaining about, except for the fact that I just bought 10-gram bag of Paydirt, 5-gram bag of Paydirt when gold was at like 99 and 100. So I'm losing money here. So we got to pan this out. So everyone chat amongst yourselves while I move everything, move the camera and set up, put some gloves on, get my chat open. PA Patriot, what's up, brother? So, all right, let me shrink down the ugly mug. Get rid of it. There we go. And there's the panning station. Let me zoom in the camera for the panning station. Looks. There we'll go. There we go. There we go. Something I was supposed to do earlier and I forgot. And now we'll move the microphone and everything around and we'll start panning. Gold's at 3,100. All right, where is my chat? Open up. Tablet, so we can get this. Just give me 1 second. Tablet slow. Swamp Dog, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Rusty Nugget Prospecting, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone who's here tonight while my tablet decides what it's going to do. All right. I will enter my PIN again. There we go. I forgot to charge my tablet till like 15 minutes before the show too, so I'm just... There we go. All right. Joe Murrow, Chef V, thank you for joining the show. I think I saw you earlier in the show, Chef V, and I just didn't say hi, but thank you. I appreciate you being here. All right, and now let's open up this Goldbay Paydirt. We're not going to classify it down or anything because, again, if you missed the beginning of the show, this is a 10-gram bag of Paydirt I had talked to Dave over at Goldbay about, and it is supposed to have a nugget inside of it. And that's the nugget we're going to be guessing on for the Patreon Guess the Gold contest this month. So, and by the way, also, the reason I got a 10-gram bag is because my Patreon, I have to come up with right around 10 grams of gold every month to supply all my Patreon members with gold, my $79 tier for the winners of the gold guessing contest. And all the Mexican gold I get, except for this nugget, are going to be in the bags of Paydirt. So everyone will be able to get some what I consider specimen gold, some gold, high purity gold nugget, chunky gold from Mexico. So there we go. Look at this. This piece of gold don't want to go in. There we go. We're starting out with some gold on top. Richard Dow, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And again, anyone I miss, I apologize. Let's stir this up and get all the chunkies down to the bottom. Now, I don't expect this to be too hard of a Paydirt to go through. If you watch the review, you will see it was pretty easy. It was almost all chunky gold. There wasn't really, I think there was 4 pieces in the -20, so, and below. 2 pieces in the -20, 2 pieces in the -40. PA Patriot. Everyone just loves you, PA. you got to sit there and do all this before Mary shows up. How's it going, Joe Murrow? And if anyone knows, and they've been watching me pan for a while, everyone should know that +10 material is like my Achilles heel for panning. So it's the one thing that if I'm going to miss gold, it's usually in the +10. So this might be a great opportunity to add something chunky to the Tuesday tailings. I'm going to try really hard not to miss anything. But I did in the review I just did for the Mexican Paydirt, I didn't miss any, but I kept thinking the whole time, I was like, I know I'm going to have to go through this again and I'm going to find a plus 10 piece of gold. So one little piece, not really chunky, one little piece. It's probably just above 20 mesh maybe. But one little piece so far, not bad. Finding gold. Move my cord. I removed all my cords from my microphone the other day, and now they're kind of, you know, it's one of those thicker cords. They tend to get kinks or bends in them, and they stay that way. And now it's not behaving like I want it to. Now you got to notice this time. That's awesome. YouTube's on the got stuff and working this time. So I always get my notifications like really, really late, you know. Like Saturday I was doing something and I was like all day I was like, oh, I got to watch the Yukon Alley's new video. Got to watch Yukon Alley's new video. And then I like totally forgot because, you know, I was cooking dinner for the kids and stuff like that. And then sure enough, like 9:50, 10 o'clock, I'm getting ready to go to bed because I was tired. Get the little pop-up. I'm like, dang it. Bierman Prospecting has it going. Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. One and only, thank you for joining the show. I think everyone, if they're on this show, then they definitely have gold fever. Gene Cloth, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Oh, I don't think you've ever been timed out here for saying anything bad about Jeeps. I'm not a fan of Jeeps. Jeeps are for people with less common sense than have more money than common sense. Like, especially if you don't know how to fix it. Like if you're a mechanic or something, I have no problem if you want to buy a Jeep or something. It's the people that aren't. Anyone that's mechanically not inclined or not mechanically inclined should not own a Jeep. All right. So we're finding little pieces of gold. Haven't found the nugget yet to guess on, so we're getting some gold. I was bit by the gold bug a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, I never thought about gold mining or anything like that when I was a kid. The first book I ever read was Raise the Titanic, or not the first book I ever read, but when I was a kid, I used to live like 3 blocks from the library, and me and my brother used to go there all the time, and we'd read all the Hardy Boys. So I was always really big into like mystery stuff and, you know, figuring out who did it or what did it. And then we went to Europe for like a vacation during the summer when we were little. And we had to get a book to read because, you know, it's a really long flight. And the book I got was Raise the Titanic by Clive Cussler. And I absolutely loved that book and just the whole adventure of finding something that was hidden that, you know. And so I started reading all of his books, and I actually still love all his books. He actually wrote some nonfiction books about raising because he uses the money from his science fiction books or his fiction books to actually go look for World War II ships that have sunk. Or not World War II, Civil War ships. He likes to hunt down Civil War stuff. And so I read some of his books on that. That's just what got me started. And then I was reading Oak Island stuff a lot. That was another huge one I was really, really into once I started finding those books. I've probably read every book on Oak Island when I was younger. And then 10 years ago, got the gold bug, so more chunkies. No nugget yet. There better be a nugget in here. I'm going to be screaming at Dave. Oh, that's awesome, B&B. I've got to go grocery shopping right after this, but if it's on long enough, I'll try to jump on. I always do my grocery shopping after my Tuesday live show, so I can get it done and wake up late tomorrow. But yeah, if anyone wants to watch somebody pan out, and it's Yukon Alley you're panning out tonight too, isn't it? So that'll be on B&B Paydirt after my show. Maybe, probably, maybe. Lots of rocks in here. So many rocks in this one you can't really hear. Because a lot of times, you know, if you're panning something, you can hear when there's a nugget at the bottom. This stuff's so chunky, you can't really hear anything. Grocery shop. You don't know how much I hate grocery shopping. Every time I go grocery shopping, and me and my kids, you know, every once in a while I'll make something special for them, but most of the time, you know, we eat the same foods over and over, you know, just variations of it, you know, chicken tacos, you know, then fish tacos, then beef tacos, then crispy chicken tacos, and crispy fish tacos, you know, shrimp tacos, generally all the same stuff. And it just every single week watching my grocery bill go up and up and up, but, you know, there we go. And what sucks, I just ordered something. I've got to hope it's tariff-free, but I just ordered something from China for $200. I mean, I actually ordered it like a month and a half ago, but it was in production being made for it's something for the channel, hopefully. You know, it's one of those things where they send you proofs, you go back and forth, you tell them you hate the proof, and they're like, okay, you approve the proof. And I'm like, no, I hate the proof. And they're like, okay, great. We made the changes you requested, and we sent it off. And it's like, wait, I didn't approve anything. But I'm really hoping it gets 0 tariffs, because if I got to pay a big chunk of change, I'm going to have to call my buddy Elon. Oh, I see something. I saw something. I have to call my buddy Elon up and tell him he needs to start ranting higher or more. Oh, and thank you very much, HD. I totally forgot about it. So yeah, let me get it. For today's live show giveaway, we're going to be doing 7 spots, 1 a week. This is week number 1, and we're going to be giving away some of Cajun Bullion silver. This is a silver bar. It's going to be 1.6 ounces. I know before in one of my other Patreon things I did grams. So this is a 1.6 ounce bar of silver from Cajun Bullion. You know, it will also come with a sticker and some things, but that's going to be for the giveaway. So make sure you go to the hidden video that HD just dropped. Leave a comment, and then later in the live show when I pull the names, you must be here and post your reply. That if I pull your name, you must post something. But go to the hidden video for your chance to get spot number 1 of 7 to win a 1.6 ounce bar of silver. 999 silver too, so. Humble Stacker, you like silver? What? No way. All right. Oh, this is a chunky pan. Look at this pan. Oh, this is a good pan. Now we're getting all the good stuff. So that is the nugget. Ooh-wee. So that's going to be the nugget thing. Finger here. Well, even look what I happen to have here too. Look at that. Bam. So that's going to be the nugget that everyone's going to be guessing on for this live show, for this next Patreon gold guessing contest. This is going to be the nugget y'all are going to be guessing on. That video will come out tomorrow. But all right, let's clean up this a little bit more. Then we'll get to, you'll see it some more. We're not going to take it totally out, but. And just, if it rolls off into Tuesday tailings, I'm taking it out. I will break my rules for that. Donna, thank you so much, Donna. You're always way too kind to me, Donna. Make most of my jewelry with silver. There you go. You're going to be adding your 1 gram bags to the Amazon store. Well, good luck with that, brother. Mega Silver Stacker. How's it going? Yeah, it is a really fat bar. 1.6. So I got a couple from them, and I had a couple 1.5s, and I had the 1.6 one. So I was figuring for the giveaway, we'll do the 1.6. Utah Mining has it going. A3 Sky Warrior has it going. 4.3, 2.31, totally different guesses. 2 grams away from each other. Now, I am not going to give any hints either. So for the Patreon giveaway, we're going to have that nugget up. And again, we're going to be doing, for the $25 and $79 tier, I'm going to be doing a first place and a second place. But it didn't seem like everyone liked the second place option I had put up there of a silver. So I'm going to do another bag of Paydirt. So we're going to have a 1.75 gram bag of Paydirt for the first place, a 0.5 gram bag for second place, and then for the $10 tier, we'll have a 1 gram bag of Paydirt, and for the $5 tier, we'll have a half gram bag of Paydirt. And then, of course, all my $79 tier members will get a bag of Paydirt. And the vast majority of the gold. Now, I might have to put in some fines just so people have some fines to find. But if any of the chunky gold, anything over 20 mesh, will all be this Mexican gold. So I'm going to be saving all this Mexican gold to put in these bags. So if you're a Patreon member, you're going to be getting some of this high carat Mexican gold. And then if you guess, you can get even more gold. So some more chunkies. Now again, this is a 10 gram bag of Paydirt. So at the end of the show, you will be able to see that nugget mixed in with all the rest of the gold and know that in that pan is roughly 10 grams. There might be a little bit more because, it is Paydirt, but, Well, that's awesome, Gene. It's always good to get a splint off or anything else. 512 Steve LeBlanc. If it's a 512 gram and a 10 gram bag of Paydirt, I'm going to buy up all his stock. I did show the nugget. You're just blind. You were too busy talking. See? Oh, there it is. But we're going to show it some more. I'm going to show it some more. Once we get through all this Paydirt, and it's going to stay in the pan, so... Started my channel in January, and I have 6.5 grams of gold. You got that fever. Yeah, I don't read Clive anymore since he kind of, the ones, what was the guy's name? Dirk Pitt or whatever. So I used to love his books, but then when he started writing books about his real adventures, I kind of read those. And then I kind of changed what I read. But he'll always have a special place to me just because he's the one that really got me into, treasure hunting and reading books about, different treasures and things like that. Pickle Prick, how's it going? I don't know if I said hi to you, but Utah Mining, thank you for joining the show. TM, how's it going? And by the way, thank you for joining the show, TM. So, more chunkies. So, just in case you're wondering, the Paydirt as a Patreon member will be chunky gold, since all this Mexican Paydirt is very chunky. So that's why I will probably, if you got a half gram bag, I'll probably try to put like 0.4 of this chunky gold in there, then like 0.1 of my own fine minus 40 gold, just so it's either going to be chunky or fines. That's it. It's going to be chunky or fines. Just the chunkies will be the Mexican high carat, and anything you find under 40 mesh will just be, various carat, Sean McClelland had it going. Yeah, Mexican. This is all that Mexican Paydirt from Goldbay. So, or should I say gold fever prospecting? So. So Mexican Paydirt, by the way, California to then Nevada. So, but Dave seems to be doing a lot of his mining these days in Mexico. So, Is this gold from the... He doesn't say where he got it. It's just... Dave's in Mexico and he's doing a lot of mining down there. I'm sure he's just buying up gold from whoever he can down there. And, you know. That's why he's just saying it's high carat Mexican gold. He didn't really say. He's not specifying where it's from. I wish it did. I mean, I would still consider it specimen gold just since it's such high carat. And there are some beautiful pieces. There's some that are like, you know, just rough and tumbly. But there's a couple pieces in the ones, especially in the bag I got through the secret shopper, had some really, really pretty gold. That was Pint Size in chat. How's it going, Pint Size? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. Oh, there they are, Pint Size Panners. How's it going? And thank you again, everyone who joined the live show. I always appreciate it. If I missed you and didn't say hi to you, I apologize, but thank you very much for being here. Second to last pan. Then we'll start cleaning it up. This went way too quick. That's the problem with chunky Paydirt. It's easier to pan. I haven't really seen any fine gold in here, though. It's kind of a bummer. One thing I didn't like in my review of this Paydirt was, you know, no real fine gold. But I'm guessing when he was buying all this stuff, you know, you can't really test, you know, fine gold. So when you're buying something from Mexico, you don't want to tell them, oh, yeah, give me 10 ounces at minus 40 high carat, you know. Unless you're going to melt it all down, so. And again, make sure, hidden comment was just posted up by one of my mods. Make sure, if you want to enter to win spot number 1 of my current live show giveaway, which is going to be a 1.5 ounce bar of silver that I got from Cajun Bullion. Or it's a 1.6 to be specific, 1.6. Spot number 1, we're going to be getting 7 spots, and then we'll do the giveaway. I'm wondering how big of a nugget. Well, you're going to have to guess. I will show it. And again, tomorrow I will have a video up on YouTube where while I'm talking, it'll be spinning around, making you nauseous, make you feel like you drank way too much Jack Daniels. Steven, well, there you go. Steven LeBlanc just won. You won, who was it, from B&B Paydirt Prospecting? Steven, you won my 50 subscriber. I'm guessing it's Steven LeBlanc. I probably shouldn't have said the last name. You just said Steven. Might be someone else in here named Steven. So many people just have names. All right. Last little couple pieces. Now, even I don't know the size of this nugget. I told him I just wanted a nugget. He said, okay, we'll do that. And he said they'd throw it in there, so. Culver, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining the show as always. I guess 6.2. So with this guessing contest that I am going to be doing for my Patreon members, last month I did it where people could guess on the actual video, and that was kind of a fiasco for me and didn't really work. But what I'm going to do is everybody will be able to guess on this, even if you are not a paid Patreon member. But you can join my Patreon as a free member, and I will have a prize for y'all. I don't know what it'll be. Might be a silver-plated dime. Might be, I don't know. Might be something. Might just be a little piece of chunky Mexican gold. You know, just might be one of these little pieces here. Who knows? But I will make it available for my non-paying Patreon members. So if you want to join my Patreon page just to guess, you can. I will say more about it tomorrow during the video and showing off this nugget next to a piece of gold, next to a dime. So you can join my Patreon page to guess and maybe win something, and you don't actually have to be a paid member. Better if you're a paid member, because then you can win some Paydirt, but you know, I will find some little bitty prize just for people who join my Patreon page just to see the posts. Trying to get all this black sands out. They're not moving. Culver. I mean, A3. How you been doing, brother? What are the bees doing? Been reading a lot about these massive bee die-offs, man. I was like, oh no. Can't lose our bees. I'm going with 4.234 blind. You're not blind, brother. It's right there. Come on. It's in the middle of the pan. So that's it. That is 10 grams of gold right there. So that's your major hint. That's the only hint you're going to get is by watching this. I hate when I get a twig. Get out of there. Ugh. But that is 10 grams of gold, chunky, Mexican, high carat gold. One of which is the nugget that everyone will be guessing on for my Patreon contest. So, Wesley, what's up? So, unfortunately, no one gets to win this nugget. It might be in a future giveaway. Who knows? But for currently, this is just going to be the nugget for the guessing contest. And the prizes will be first and second place for $25 $79 tier. The $25 $79 tier is going to be, first place is going to be a 1.75 grams of chunky Mexican gold. The second place will be a half-gram bag. For the $10 Patreon tier will be a 1-gram bag of Mexican chunky gold. And then for the $5 tier will be a half-gram bag. And of course, all my $79 tier members are guaranteed Paydirt, so they'll get some chunky gold. 4.125. I'm doing good, Wesley. I'm doing good. How about you? So, that was an easy show. That was a quick show. Oh. I wish I had another bag of that Mexican Paydirt. I do have another bag of Goldbay, but I don't want to use it, so... Because that's for next week's show. I think next Tuesday we're going through another bag of Goldbay Paydirt. So if I pan it tonight, then I won't have anything for next Tuesday. So, but there we go. We'll leave that there. I think y'all gonna have to stuck looking at my ugly mug, and we'll chat for a little bit. It is gonna be lots of ugly mug tonight. So, drop it. All right, here we'll put it. I'll drop it in the dry pan. There we go. No quartz in this baby. You don't hear that little tink. There we go. Oh, I heard my cat. My cats are running. I don't know if y'all just heard that thump. My cat was upstairs right above me in my daughter's bed. And I just heard him jump off the bed. He's a big old chunker. And he's running. He's probably coming down here right now. You heard that gold? He's coming. He's like, oh no, I gotta get me some of that. James Stoddy, that's awesome. If one of my mods wants to drop that link, I don't think James can. Only my mods can. Because I definitely need that link as well. Sounded like a 1.63 gram nugget. So, like I said, there is 10 grams in that pan. So that nugget plus whatever gold you go to see should weigh up 10 grams. I am going to verify it after the live show just to make sure, because I'm not going to take any gold Paydirt seller's word for it, even if it is Dave. Accidents do happen. But that whole pan should be right around 10 grams. So I think that's everybody's favorite sound, Carl, and thank you for joining the show. Utah Mining, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Jose, thank you. Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Crash, thank you for joining the show. All right. We're going to shrink down that beautiful gold. I'll make y'all look at my ugly mug instead. I know. I will leave it up, though. It's going to be there. See, it's there still. Again, let me see. Let me see what we can do. Let's see. There we go. We'll zoom in the camera on the gold. So you can... Oh, did it not zoom in? What the junk. I guess that's as good as it got. All right, well, there you go. It's next to the dime. We're going to be guessing on that gold. And again, tomorrow I will have the video out for it. So tomorrow you'll be able to see it a whole bunch more in a video. Where is my live chat pop up? So... There we go. Ortiz. Yeah, everyone, tell me anything you want. Post anything. PA, thank you very much. That's the link for James Stoddy's new video. So everyone go check out that. Make sure you subscribe to him. I'm actually opening it up in a link now, so I remember to watch it after the show. Yukon Alley's Paydirt. There we go. We got to pause it. Make sure I'm subscribed. 32 subscribers. If you are not already subscribed to James Stoddy's channel, go up, subscribe to him. It's right above you in the link. And if you see anyone in the channel that you're not subscribed to, make sure you subscribe to him. But James Stoddy, make sure you go subscribe to him. He has 32. How many people are in chat right now? We have 58 people in chat. So he should get to 58 subscribers in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I know everything is delayed on YouTube, and what I say and what you hear is 5 minutes difference, but make sure you go subscribe to his channel. Here, let me get the link so I can post it. There we go. So there we go. It's pinned at the top. Make sure you go subscribe to James Stoddy. We need to get him to 55 subscribers before the end of the show, so that way he can have his over 55 subscriber giveaway that he never said anything about. He's at 40. All right. Well, I know I'm probably a little late here. Let me see. It says 37 still for mine. Now it says 42. So, all right. So we got to get him to 55. He's got to get to 55. There's 58 people in chat, so all of you can't be subscribed to him already. Wild Gold Adventures, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. And Wesley, thank you very much, brother. Way too kind, way too kind. Everyone's too kind to me always, but thank you all very much. Says 42 for me. He's at 45. Well, there you go. So only 10 more. Again, if you're not already a subscriber to James Staudy, go to the top of chat. He just posted his first video, and, we want to support each other in this community, especially with subscribing and watching each other's videos. It costs nothing. Some people like me will hit you up and say, hey, join my Patreon page, support me. And others, won't do that. They just putting out videos for free. So if it's something free, we should all support each other. I need to shrink down. My computer's going wacko again. It lasts about a good, I guess it's hour. It's about an hour my computer lasts before it starts freaking out. So I don't know why. There we go. 52 now. Well, there you go. He's only got 3 more. Let's get him to 420. Well, I can't do that on tonight's show. Hopefully he will get to 420 at some point, but there's only 55 people watching my show, so the most we can get him to is about 55. So 56 now. Well, there you go. Thank you all very much for joining the show. And just for that, here, I will even post this. Make sure you go to the hidden link that Nightbot is going to be posting up. Go over there and make sure you leave a comment, and that's going to be for spot number 1 for, where is it? My silver giveaway, giving away Cajun Bullion 1.6 ounce silver bar, 999 silver. Absolutely beautiful bar. Got a couple of these from them in trade, figured for live show giveaways and things like that. So make sure you go leave a spot. And as always, the giveaway has nothing to do with Patreon or its affiliates. This is 100% by me to give back to my people that look at my ugly mug for extended periods of time on my live show. And then when we do the giveaway later, you must be here, because if I pull your name, you must say something in live chat. That is the one rule, pretty much the only rule. You leave a comment on in video, and then you come back here, watch the rest of the live show, and then we do when I pull your name, if I pull your name, you post something in the live chat. So can he get to 60? He might be able to get to 60. It's 58. I mean, I don't know how many people are in here were already subscribed to him. So I know there was only like 58 people in my live chat. So he's at 60. That is awesome. So you get a pizza party. And Boot Jolky, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I know I just butchered your name up, and I apologize. 60. That's awesome. Congratulations, brother. I got to tell you, it's so much 61. He's so much better being in the community nowadays than when I first started 10 years ago. Oh, man. Getting 100 subs took forever. I mean, it literally took me forever. And YouTube pretty much won't do anything with your videos until you get to 100. They have certain milestones at YouTube where, until you get to 100, you're pretty much... nobody's going to see your videos. Like nobody, unless you tell them. There is 0 chance that anyone will ever find your videos until you get to 100 subscribers, unless you tell somebody about it, or they very specifically look for that title. So then once you get to 100, they'll, it might pop up in somebody's feed somewhere. Then you got to get to 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000, then 250,000, then 500,000, then 1 million. It's absolutely wonderful community. So it's still growing, and it's been growing for the last 10 years, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and gold keeps going up. The community is going to keep getting bigger and bigger, which is great. So I'm YouTube shadow banned right now. Yeah, it happens. I was shadow banned for a while. It was sucked being shadow banned, and they'll swear that they don't shadow ban people. But like when I would search for my own videos, like on a Tuesday, so I always in my feed when I have my, tabs open on Chrome, I always make sure my channel is open so I can make sure that, what you see and I see are the exact same thing. And I will type in Miller Prospecting and it wouldn't show up. Like my live show would not show up, even though it was going to be live in like an hour and I'm in here setting up in my studio. It would not be there. It would be, like some video that I might have posted 10 years ago or 8 years ago or 5 years ago, but a live show would not be up there. And I would have to specifically type in Miller Prospecting Tuesday Live. And even then, it would be the first hit. It might be like 4 or 5 down. It was just, you're like, okay, what did I do? Who did I upset? And usually it happens when you get a video that does any decent amount of views that gets money. Like, for whatever reason, they might put a commercial on that's paying high that you don't get to pick. So like most of the time, like most commercials or ads that are going on your channel pay like very, very low. But every once in a while, there'll be a new sponsor. And I'm like, oh yeah, put us on videos, and pay 10 cents a view. And if that happens to be put on one of your videos, it happens to get, 5,000 views, they'll shadow ban you because they'll say, oh, his channel's too small. He's this, he's that, And then you just get shadow banned. So it sucks. I'm so close to 100,000 views. Yeah, there's so many milestones. I gave up on looking at any of them after a while. Once I hit right around 1,000 subs, I was like, okay, that's all I ever wanted to do was hit 1,000 subs. So one, I could get monetized and I could start doing live shows and I could start essentially do everything I wanted. You could name your channel once I got to 1,000. And I gave up on watching because otherwise if I watch too much, it's, sometimes it can get disheartening when you see things like when you see dips, you'll be like, oh no, I lost 40 subscribers today. So I stopped watching and looking at anything. Paying my Yukon Alley 1 gram bag and spot 3 chunky pickers and a total of 2.6 grams. Yeah, it's crazy. Yukon Alley is just crazy. I'm gonna have to have a long talk to her once she goes back up and stops selling Paydirt for next year. Because I really, really want her to start selling her concentrates. I think that would be such a fun bag, because when you're buying her Paydirt, essentially what you're getting is she puts 1 pound of material in there. I think it's 1 pound. She puts in the 1 gram of gold. Now she might put in 1.1. I don't know that, she puts in this specified amount that she knows she'll make a profit off of or where she needs to be. She's not putting in 2.6 grams because she'd be better off sending it to a refinery at that point. And then she takes a tablespoon for a 1 gram bag. She takes a tablespoon of her concentrates and puts it in there. And that's where that 1.5 extra bonus comes from. And I told her, sell those tablespoons. I mean, if you sold a tablespoon, $25, it'd be a little bitty, 1 ounce package. It would be cheap to ship. I don't know how cheap because it is coming from Canada. But, $30 shipped, I would buy it all day long. It might have no gold in it, but it might have 2 grams of gold for like $20. I mean, you'd be able to get, 1,000% ROI on some of these bags. So I absolutely love Yukon Alley, And if you haven't, make sure you go. She's just started putting out a series for all her adventures for the last couple years. And they're going to, once they go back to start mining, they are going to be filming themselves mining and stuff like that. So if you aren't already, make sure you are subscribed to Yukon Alley. I'm going to put a link to her channel up there as well. So here we go. Yukon Alley's channel. Make sure you go subscribe to her. I absolutely love Yukon Alley. Allison is this absolutely wonderful person, a real gold miner selling gold. And I mean, this is not, and there's a lot of gold miners out here who sell Paydirt, and there's no knock on them. This is not to say anything about them, but, they're out there and a little bitty, just going out there on the weekends, finding some gold and stuff like that. And she's going up there with $1 million equipment, just like you see on, the Gold Rush Paydirt show and stuff like that. And she's selling Paydirt on the side, which is just absolutely awesome, And it's not, and they have ones, the Gold Rush obviously did sell Paydirt. I am a sucker for their Paydirt, but they were rip-off Paydirt. They were selling it just to make massive amounts of money. And obviously when you see these results where she's, selling a 1 gram bag of Paydirt, what was it, like $115, $116 shipped with 2.6 grams of gold in it, just absolutely awesome. Oh my gosh. And no, that is not normal troubled one. That means you have a tree root somewhere in your system or something's broken in your pipeline. Either that, if you have like a French drain, your French drain was too close to your sewer pipe and they both broke and now, they're both draining into each other. That and stop wiping with leaves. Finding tents, sleeping bags, and equipment like that is so hard, Wrench. I remember when my son was into his camping phase and, wanting to go outdoors and all that stuff. And I would be like, oh yeah, let me go and get this sleeping bag, and you get it and you're like, oh, this sucks. I got to send it back, get a different one. And especially like if you're like me in Indiana, there's no real big stores. You go to these one stores and they have like 2 sleeping bags. You know, they're like, you either choose this one for $480 or this one for 80 that is exact same as the one you could get on Amazon for 20, you know. Uh oh, is it? Oh yeah, that's right. An apartment complex. Oh yeah, that's gonna be. I remember when we first moved to Evansville, we went to an apartment. Well, not the first time. I've lived here twice. But the second time when we moved here permanently, the first apartment we got into, I remember one day we were doing laundry, and you know, we had a little laundry room, and I was kind of in the back of the apartment. And I go to the back and I notice there's water everywhere. And I'm like, what the junk? And I'm thinking, you know, it overflowed or something like that. And no, there's a drain on the floor and it's coming up through there. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And I'm like, but you know, sweep it up. Maybe it was just, you know, dumping water too quick. Well, then later on, like a week later, I see water back there again. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing laundry. And it was just like, if any two people were doing laundry at the exact same time in our unit, it would start backing up out of everybody's. And they started trying to blame us, telling us, oh, y'all need to all tell each other when you're going to do laundry. Like, no, I don't think so. And thank you very much for that, PA. Let me see. There we go. And if anyone needs any of my mods to drop a link for them, now's the time. Because this is actually going to be a short show, and I'm guessing B&B might do his live show after this. But here, hold on a second. I'm trying to find something. All right. Let me get everything set up. So, yeah. All right. I'm back. Just trying to catch up on something. Well, that's a good 5 gram dark, big, 2 gram nugget. That's awesome. All right. Well, if you're going to be a permanent seller, I will get a secret shopper to add you, but I can't add it to my shelf except for Vendetta. And that's just because Vendetta has that really cool bag. Yeah. Special bag. He only had a couple of those bags made and he sent it to me. Is anything on my shelf behind me are typically for sellers who are not permanent sellers. They're supposed to be, you know, long gone era sellers that aren't around anymore, or sellers who, you know, are just part of the community, and I want to help out people in the community. So they give so much to me. I got to support them by showing off their channels and stuff like here. You know, ignore the Flower Gold Wizards. He also sells permanently, but you know, you know, so most of these are, you know, Bills, Mega Dog, A3 Sky Warrior, Troubled One, HD. You know, they're all just people who are part of the community that every once in a while need to make some money and sell. So eventually, though, you will see one on the black shelves of wonder. You know, I will have it. I will put you on my secret shoppers list, though. You should have a training course on how to be a mod. I don't know how to be a mod. That's why I don't have one. You got to ask other mods how to do stuff. I have no clue. I just make people mods that are $79 tier members on my Patreon. I figure one of the perks of being a $79 tier member is, you know, get to be a mod and figure it out yourself. Because I'm a mod on a lot of channels and I never do anything. I never click anything. I never do anything. I just type my chat and move on my humble self, you know. Just chat every once in a while. That's it. So I wish I knew how to do stuff on the, you know, you're going to have to ask PA or HD or one of these other people that have been mods for a long time. So Dina Little Hale, there you go. If you need to find her channel. I don't think I'm subscribed to Dina. I'll have to look. Let me see. Nope. See, I wasn't subscribed. Well, there you go. Bam. Now you're like 105. So it's good to see everyone that's in here has at least 100 subscribers. Because like I said, that's the first hurdle just to get anything done on YouTube. You know. And once you get to 100, I'm pretty sure after that you can start doing lives. Or maybe it's so many views too. But you definitely want to do a live because even if it's just sitting there and talking one time and just hanging out, you don't even have to show your face, you're just panning or something like that. Because it does help the algorithm for views and stuff like that. So, and you want that for later on with YouTube just so you can get monetized and make that check for 2 cents. You know. But just the other things, just like naming your channel, being able to name your channel and all the other little weird things that YouTube has. So thank you very much. How's it going, 308 Prospecting? I appreciate that. And Jose, I don't know if I said hi to you, but thank you very much for joining it. You're missing contributing to minors. Yeah, it's been a long time. I remember them. See, I did have so contributing to minors, they did for a long time. I had gotten a custom, I used to have a TNT box on my shelf that they had made for me. And then, but unfortunately, it went to my son. My son really liked it, and it went to his mother's house, and I haven't gotten it back. So, but yeah, there's a lot of them on here are ones that I had to hunt down. Like I just got, well, I didn't just get, but like the lynch mining, I had to get from somebody who had lynch mining still in a stockpile. I pan for gold. I'm working on somebody right now. I've been buttering them up for the last month and a half, trying to get them to send me. He did a bottle, kind of like the HD one above me. I pan for gold, who is now closed. So I'm working on them, trying to get one for my shelf. So it's hard. Once the seller closes, it's impossible to get them. Eureka Gold, or Eureka Joe's. Eureka Joe's is another one I've been trying to get. You know, I hit up a lot of people. People tell me sometimes, you know, I'll get people and they'll say, oh, you know, I got some old Paydirt or old gold to sell. And they'll send me lists. And Eureka Joe's is another one I've been trying to get on my shelf. Who is the other one? Jimbo's Gold. Like I actually reached out to Jimbo and tried to get him to just send me one of his stickers. And I would have made up my own bag of his Paydirt and just put it on the shelf with a sticker. But he didn't want to. He was like, no, I don't want to, you know, do that. And so it's hard, you know. I wish I could add up all those old people, but you just can't get their Paydirts anymore once they close. So, and they're not going to tell you right when they're going to close because most of them just overnight close. So, known for kiting, huh? I've learned how to time out and hide trolls. Yeah, well, I appreciate, you know, and if you are a mod on my channel, by the way, don't time anyone out. Don't, you know, you'll, unless they're, you know, cursing or posting like XXX rated links or things like that, you know, we don't really time out anyone on my channel. I don't ban anyone. There's nobody banned on my channel currently, you know, unless Nightbot does it, so. Paydirt Getaway. Yeah, how's it going, brother? That's the Mexican Paydirt that Dave over at Goldbay is selling. That's a 10-gram bag in there. So, oh, his high carat gold, Mexican gold. Yeah, only the mods can post links usually. I think it's time for a good Clash bashing. I don't bash Clash. It's funny. So I haven't approved it yet, but somebody left a comment on my last Clash video about how, you know, they were a subscriber, and it shows they were a subscriber of mine for 6 years. And they're like, I was subscribed to you for 6 years, but, you know, I can't deal with you bashing Clash. He's like, he's a Paydirt reviewer just like you. Why are you doing this? And he's like, I'm unsubscribing. And I'm like, what? So if somebody does Paydirt reviews, they're free to rip everyone off? It's like, so if Golden Paydirt just starts doing gold Paydirt reviews, that they're therefore a good bag of Paydirt? I'm like, no, that's just absolutely silly. They're the ones that should be held to the highest standard. If you review Paydirts, you should be held to a higher standard than the person who doesn't do reviews. I mean, that's just the way I think. But it's like, oh, well, you can't please everyone. You can't make everyone happy. Last week, we also on a show, we couldn't make everybody happy during my Patreon giveaway. It just happens. I make my videos for informational purposes. I'm not an entertainer. I don't try to be an entertainer. They have some great channels out there that do some great entertaining. They have some channels out there that do, backyard prospecting. I love his intros. I love his thumbnails. He takes it over the top. I like that. He's there to entertain and, do his reviews. Mine are all for informational purposes. I figure if you're going to look at this ugly mug, I got to give you as much information as possible to make, you watch my videos worth it. So, yeah. 10 grams is worth like $2,000. Not really, but it's worth about $950 last time I looked. But that nugget might be worth more. I don't know how much it weighs. I'm not going to say how much it weighs. So, yeah, I Am Jackson is here somewhere. He might be lurking now. Yeah. I always joke that I time out. Yeah, it shows. I can see on the screen when somebody's timed out. So, yeah. That's all I ask is my mods don't, try to use a band hammer or anything like that. It's mostly, mostly make mods just so they know that they're, people can see that they're higher tier members on my Patreon or longtime people on my Patreon, things like that. Because some of my older ones, like HD, he was a mod, Donna, Josh Ortiz, they were made mods because they were at one point my longest Patreon members. So they were made mods before I had a $79 tier. It's just another little bitty thing, because you can't do much when you're, to give back to Patreon members. I don't do Patreon exclusive videos because, like I said, my videos are for information. And if I did, here's a great review, but it's only gonna be for my, Patreon members, and it would kind of defeat my whole purpose. So. You need mods. Like I said, I've been good with this channel. I only put mods in here just because we had the one animal that came into the channel at one time, and that was it. So I really miss old Sasquatch. Yeah, Sasquatch was a great dude. But that's one of the things about the community is your community is getting big when you start having people to miss. When I first started this channel, I knew all 8 people that were in the community. I mean, there was more than that, but it was like 10 people, and you knew they were going to be around for the next 5 years. I mean, they're still around. HD Shovel Ed, they're still hanging around. But then as the community grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, there's going to be more people that pop in, make their mark, then disappear. So. Yeah, everyone, I mean, that's the one good thing about this community. I mean, while we do have the occasional person that is a scammer or, does rodeos and doesn't send out the gold and rips people off, the vast majority of the people actually behave. And that's one of the good things, like even the people that are the scammers or people that make videos that, then sell crappy Paydirt. They're at least kind and nice to each other, which is good, The world's way too crazy nowadays. They got enough Karens out there. People in chat could be, nice. Patreon Ward idea, Miller Price, gear or gear from Paydirt sellers. I'm sure there's some sellers that will sell gear at a bulk discount. Yeah, but see, the problem is, so one of the problems with Patreon is, so first off, Patreon takes money out of it. So for like example, the $5 tier. I only get $4.50 out of that tier. So 50 cents just goes to Patreon, which, they're, need to make money. But then the thing is shipping. Shipping is what absolutely kills me. When I first started my Patreon, it was just prizes that I shipped. There was no contest. There was no giveaways. There was nothing like that. The $25 tier got usually it was a half ounce. I think at the time, it was a half ounce. Or maybe it was a 1/10 of an ounce silver. They got silver every single month. The $10 tier got silver, but it was usually a 1 gram silver. And then the $5 tier got copper. They would get like a 1 ounce copper round. And that's what everyone got every single month. And I would try to do varieties. Like I might do all stuff from like England or everything from France or something else. It might be all Indian head stuff. But the problem was shipping. Once the 1 ounce copper round, it would cost me probably about $1 at the time. It was costing me like $1.10 for a 1 ounce copper round. And then you add in the $1.40 that would cost for shipping, the 25 cents in an envelope and a card and everything else. It came out to a year I was making 50 cents off a Patreon of a $5 tier. And it's just like, well, that defeats the purpose, because then with 50 cents, I have to buy Paydirt and do a review, and I was losing money. I was starting to lose money. I was having to borrow money. I was having to get people, my good friend, send me Paydirt and then send him back the gold. It was just, shipping was just killer. It still is. So, because, I think about it all the time. I would like to, and I'm actually got in the noodle right now. I've been doing a lot of stuff on the side because I don't like the current Patreon rewards. I do not like the gold guessing. It doesn't involve everyone. If you forget to guess, or if like last month you think you guessed and you didn't, somebody's going to miss out. There's every single month, like you see, I have, I think, 30 $10 tier members, and I think like 19 or 14 or something guessed. So that means 16 people didn't get a chance to win a Patreon reward. So I don't know. Flower looks like your nugget is going to be bigger than Flower Gold nuggets for this month's guessing game. Flower Gold is going to have to step it up. Well, neither one of us are giving away the nuggets, so as long as it doesn't get into a battle of giving away the nuggets, because I'll let him win every single month. He's got way too many Patreon members. He's got like 10 times as many Patreon members as me. So I didn't know what size nugget this was going to be. Originally, it was funny. When I originally asked Dave, I said, Dave, can, if I buy a 10-gram bag from you, because I was trying to figure in my head how much gold I needed to, send all my Patreon members Mexican gold. So I asked him, if I buy a 10-gram bag, can you put a nugget in it? Because I wasn't sure he would, because nuggets do have a premium. And he said, yeah, I can do that. And I was like, okay, like how big of a nugget? And I'm thinking, 1 gram. And he goes, oh, how about a 9-gram nugget? And I was like, and I'm thinking, well, I should buy this, because a 9-gram nugget with, high carat, I would be making money on this. But then I'd have to buy another 10-gram after. So I told him, no, I cannot. I need actual gold too. So he's like, okay. So we worked down from there. I don't know what that one is. I don't know what the final one, but it wasn't a 9-gram. So that is another hint. That is not a 9-gram nugget. So this is not 9 grams. So total in the pan is 10 grams. We can just cut out the middleman. You can send me all the gold you want. I'll pay the shipping. Yeah. You had a gold-plated dime too. Well, I still do the gold-plated dimes. If you become a Patreon member, I send you a gold-plated dime every time. That's just part of the joining. Right, and that's another thing. So like a $5 member joins, and if I send them so if you join my Patreon today, I would send you a gold-plated dime. That cost me right around $1.50 just to send, minus the 50-cent tier fee. So that's $2 just on your first month you join. And then if I sent you the copper round or something, I ended up losing $1 just off that 1 month. Now the next month I probably might make 50 cents, but then that's still my whole dollar in the hole. So it just became shipping. Shipping is the biggest deterrent for me having Patreon rewards. It really is. I have been thinking about, because I really don't like the gold guessing. I like the wheel. The wheel, I thought, put everybody involved into it. You didn't have to be active in the community. You just had to support the channel, and you had a chance to win some Paydirt. And the only way I can get back to the wheel is if I get rid of Patreon and put a subscription service on my website. And I don't know if I want to go that route, because that's a lot of work on my end. It puts a lot of people have to really trust, to go from an established website like, Patreon to millerprospecting.com and hand over credit card info, even though it will be dealt through with PayPal. It'll go through PayPal's credit card info. So in the back, I have been thinking about going back to just every month, everybody receiving stuff, but it would just be for certain tiers. So I still haven't figured out, because, I do like to give back, but, I might have to do that. I don't know. Flower Gold Wizard needs to start the can again. Flower Gold needs to get that can again, but this time he needs to ensure that I win it, because then, big subscriber hands a can to smaller subscriber, and he gets to show it off. Win-win for everybody, I hate shipping prices. Yeah, and what's, They have been trying to privatize the United States Postal Service for years and years and years and years and years. So they have made sure that the Postal Service sucks more and more and more every year, and the prices go up more and more every year. Just by doing stupid things like they make them, oh, you're going to buy these cars. They spend millions and millions of dollars for them to design a car and truck or whatnot they're going to use. Then they say, no, don't use that one. We're going to go a different route. And then millions and millions and millions of dollars are spent, and just, they're just trying to privatize the Postal Service. They're going to make it absolutely horrible until it does. But, just have a Patreon day where we dig it up from your, if I wish I lived somewhere like, that's the one great thing, like for Jason, it's one of the things I wish. If I lived in Ohio or further north in Indiana, I would do that every year. I would do a Patreon get together where everyone could get, hang out and barbecue and, hunt for gold and stuff like that. And that would be a great Patreon reward, where you say, if you're a Patreon member for 6 months as a $5 tier, you get to come to this thing for free, But, if I win, give it to Weezen. Yeah, nice job on the wrench. I don't want to say anything negative about last month's gold guessing contest, but congratulations to Wrench. And it sucked that somebody complained and threw a hissy fit that they didn't get to take Wrench's win away from him because they didn't guess and they didn't follow the rules. So can for Dylan. That's right. Send the can to Dylan, and then I will use it to run for presidency. Me and PA for president and vice president. And we won't even declare which one of us is president and which one is we're just going to work hand to hand, Yeah. It's the hardest thing about trying to give back to people in the community with Patreon is just the shipping. That's why I had to switch to originally, like I said, every month, everyone used to get a prize. But then I realized I was essentially not making money just because and it wasn't that I wasn't making money. It was just any bad decision I made. So if I bought a bag of Paydirt for $100 and it only had a 40% return, that was lost money that was pretty bad. Like I would say I need to get an 80% return just to break even this month. So if I got a 40% return, that means $40 came out of my pocket. And as you all know, I'm poor. I'm on disability, SSDI. YouTube's checks get smaller and smaller every single month. I don't know how, but somehow as my channel grows, my checks with YouTube get smaller and smaller. Biggest check I've ever gotten from YouTube was $397. Biggest check ever was from YouTube was $397, and I've never gotten close to it again. Usually a lot less. So I had to switch from YouTube, from doing the monthly everybody gets a prize to doing a monthly wheel, and then Patreon had to throw a hissy fit and do this. But did you say steak? No, I did not say steak. Primo prospecting. Oh wait, somebody did. Utah or mining. Yeah, I would fly over for a good steak. Yeah. No, but like I said. Yeah, quit changing your rules. I didn't quit. You can go look at my post. You're still on my Patreon. You can go look at your You can go look at the rules. The rules are on there. You had to have your post in by March 31st. You posted your post last Tuesday. That's when you made your post. Tuesday. It was on the 1st. 24 hours after the rules. So As Primo pulls a chicken leg out. Oh no, heater's kicking on. Ignore the loud noise from a heater kicking on. No, but so I am thinking about going back to the system of just giving everybody something a month, or certain tiers something every single month. I've got to still work on it. I need to hit up some of my buddies that on a lot of Patreon and stuff like that. So either that or, like I said, move everything away from Patreon and just put it on my website and figure out how to do it. So, I might have to run a poll on that. And I appreciate everyone who voted for the poll for the first and second place prizes. Obviously, I am not going to be doing silver as a second place. astoundingly win. You know, it did, I think, win like 54% to 46, but I like a high average for somebody to win. So if the silver would have come out like 80% and everyone's saying, yeah, we want a second vote. So Charles King, how's it going? Thank you. I was at trivia. Yeah. And here, by the way, let me post the hidden video one more time because it's getting closer to the end of the show. Make sure you go and post a comment in the hidden video for chance number 1 if you want. 1 of 7. This is spot number 1 tonight for a 1.6 ounce bar of silver from Cajun Bullion. Absolutely wonderful bar. There you go. Traded some gold for that. So, actually traded a bag of Paydirt for 2 bars. So, and some Hugh Big Pies. He sent me some Hugh Big Pies from New Orleans, which is absolutely wonderful. Of course, the post office lost my mail, and they were kind of half melted, but, you know, I still appreciated it, so. So, but we're going to, one of these days, I will figure out Patreon and a good way to do rewards. You know, I probably shouldn't say this, but can you make the nugget bigger one more time? Hold on. There you go. There will be a video tomorrow, so you can't even guess yet. So, but there will be a video tomorrow. See, there's a smile there, the nose and the nugget. So I will post the Patreon video tomorrow. So the Patreon Guild Guessing Contest will be up tomorrow. I will have prizes for the first place. $25 and $79 tier will have a first place, second place. $10 tier will just have one place. $5 tier will have one place. And I will do, if you are a free Patreon member, you will be able to guess and win a prize. But there will be a limit to the amount of time, because if you're a free member, it doesn't let you put in your address. So you will have, I will email you if you win as a free member. I don't know what it'll be. It'll probably just be one of those little bitty pickers on there or something. One of those little pieces of Mexican gold. Just so you can have some Mexican gold. So if you're a free member of my Patreon, you will be able to guess and you will be able to win something. But you will only have like a week to claim your prize. So just because I don't have your address and I won't be able to just ship it to you. So Miller Bank ticket, that's it. I need to win one of those bars. Well, there you go. Make sure you leave a hidden comment. Yeah, that's why I traded them, because I wanted a bar from my son's collection. I don't give my daughter anything anymore. She's too old. My daughter just signed a contract on a house last week, and unfortunately, she hit me up, and I will be buying her a new refrigerator for her new house, and I regret that already. So, no, I don't regret it. But I wanted a silver bar for my son's collection for when he turns older and he needs to sell stuff to help his house. You know, so I traded a bag of Paydirt to him, and I figured I might as well get another one to give away on the channel. So 3.45 grams. So again, tomorrow, the video will be up tomorrow. You'll be able to watch it. It'll be a short, 3 or 4 minute video. You'll be able to see it spinning. I will post it on Patreon. I will post pictures this time if I remember. So stimulus checks equal 1 ounce gold. It's going to be more than 1 ounce of gold. It's going to be more than that. So, and yes, I like stickers. Email me, Dylan at Miller Prospecting. Oh, wait, do I need the little thing? Oh, there, I didn't. I just need to email. Yeah, just send me an email, Dylan at Miller Prospecting. I'll send you my address. I'll trade you a sticker. I love stickers. I have a door that you cannot see and you never get to see in my videos, but I have a door covered in stickers, so. And if you also send multiple stickers, I'll do them like Jason does at Flower Gold Wizards and give them away with my Patreon rewards. So that's what dads do. Yeah, we went and looked at the house, and it's a beautiful house, inner price range, beautiful house, new stove, new air conditioner, and all that stuff. And then it had a white fridge that somebody had spray painted. I'm like, what the junk? But so. She was like, oh, because she was so happy. And she's like, looking at everything. Yeah. And then she looked at the fridge and she was like, oh. And I was like, don't worry, I'll buy you a fridge. Oh, no worries about that, Goldbay, and I appreciate that, but no, it's so if the free members will just be one piece of gold, so it's going to cost me $1. So, you know, and it's mostly because you want to see if that'll convert any of these people into paid members. Usually if somebody wins something, they might become a paid member. They'll win. Oh, look, I just won $10 worth of gold. I'll become a $5 member for a month or two. But I do appreciate that. I get my stickers on the 14th. There you go. Yeah, I need to order more magnets. See, I never did the stickers originally. I just had magnets, and I got a bunch of stickers just because there was a good deal on them. But I liked my magnets just because they were different. You could still staple them to your door or your shelf or whatever it was. But I have to get some more of those, and I need to change up my sticker and make new stickers one of these days too. So North 49 RC, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. There you go. If anyone wants a PA sticker, email me, PA. I should probably put that on my website somewhere. Do like the old Felix does. Somebody sends me $3, you'll get a sticker and one of those mini bags of Paydirt with like, 2 flakes of gold in it. So, I just bought 250 beer koozies. I know I have 2 of them somewhere. I'm guessing you're talking about Flower Gold Wizard ones. I got 2 of them somewhere upstairs. I don't drink beer, so I don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna do with them. I don't drink sodas either. The only thing I drink is coffee, and I don't need a koozie for this. So I don't have a PA. I know I'm gonna have to look. See, that's the one thing that sucks. Is so like whenever I watch videos on other people's channels, and even on my old videos, I used to have on my sticker board right in front of me. You couldn't see it, but it was right in front of me. Like, so you'd look down, and then the top wall was my stickers. But by being in my door, I never see it. My door is always open in my studio. I never close it. I used to close it to keep my cat out, but now he knows better not to come in here. So I never see my stickers, but I'll have to look. I'm pretty sure I have a PA sticker up there, though. I want stickers from everyone. Yeah. Put a magnet on the refrigerator, give your daughter. So funny story is that's why I need to order more magnets. I don't have any more. I had 1 magnet left that was on my fridge that was holding up a note. And one of my Patreon members, one of the people in chat, was telling me one day that they didn't have one of my magnets or one of my stickers. And I thought, let me send them that magnet too. So I sent them that magnet. Then afterwards, I was like, well, dang it, now I don't have any magnets. So I will have to order some more magnets soon. It's just magnets are expensive. So magnets were always expensive. I think they were like close to $1 a piece. I mean, they were crazy, like 75 cents a piece. So, you send them to me twice, then they're up there. Like I said, I never see the door because it's always open. And, this is in my basement. My studio is in my basement, so it's pitch black down here. I don't turn any of the lights on. I just know how to get here. And I walk in the studio, I turn on my lights, so I never actually see the door. It's only when somebody sends me a sticker that I then close the door and put the new sticker on there and look at it. So one of these days I'll have to like cut the door down or peel off all the stickers and stick them onto something else. So yeah, we there for 5 ago. Yeah, I figured so because I just, I got a package in from Jason not too long ago for my shelf dirt, my beautiful shelf dirt that you cannot see because there's gold in the way. Here, let's get rid of the painting cam for a second. See, my beautiful Flower Gold Wizard shelf dirt. I got some koozies with that. And this is a custom-made bag just for my shelf. So I had to get that. Let's put that painting cam back up. There we go. Because the one thing about my shelf Paydirt, what am I doing? Clicking too many things. The one thing about all my shelf Paydirts is they all have to have 1 gram of gold in them because these are for my son or my daughter when I'm no longer here. These are going to be, that's for them. So, because I'm too poor to get them something. So, wow, we all feel so appreciated knowing our stickers are unseen. Yeah, well, at least I have them. They might be unseen, but one of these days. And that's just for this studio. So this is my 3rd studio I've built. Eventually, I will build a 4th studio. Unfortunately, just the way my basement is, it does leak. It does get water. And this is the only spot in my entire 900 square foot basement that does not get water, is a 6 foot by 8 foot area. But once I fix this one corner, which I will eventually, then it will be a 20-foot by 6-foot studio. And I can start doing my equipment reviews inside of a studio, which is something I really want. Right now, my equipment stuff is all on the other side of my basement. It's a huge hassle to do equipment reviews, which is why I don't do them very often. I have to move my laptop, move everything over there. So one of these days, the studio will be big enough where I can have everything, lights, geared, and everything. So custom made equals empty. Show them? I can't, because the only camera I have is this one, and it's permanently mounted in front of me, so I can't move the sticker to show the door, and I can't take the door off and leave it in front of you. If you go to my channel and you look up studio tour, I did a video where I did the studio tour when I first built this studio, showing you off the studio. Here, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find there we go. Oh, I probably needed that. Let me, hold on. But there you go. There's a video of my studio tour, and it does show the door, but there's probably more stickers on there because that was probably from like 3 or 4 years ago. Get you a good sump pump. I do have a sump pump. I actually have 2 of them. I have one, then I have a backup because when I had to replace the one when I bought here, I bought 2 just in case it goes bad. I put another one just because I have my studio in here. But unfortunately, like I said, if your basement gets water, you can't have wood on the floor, a studio that'll wick it up. And, it's just, this is the one area that no water gets anywhere near it. So, and I've just been too lazy to fix because it's, foundation issues that I don't want to mess with. And, old French drain that's not working correctly. It's just, it's the big dollar stuff. And since the only time I use this basement is for this, why don't you carry your door with you? And yeah, just email me. There you go. Email Dylan. Dylan at millprospecting.com. Yeah, so the studio video, I show off the door. And like I said, one of these days, see, when I designed this studio originally, I made so many mistakes. I want to rebuild it, like the shelves. Originally, my original camera that I originally had planned to set up to use wasn't a wide lens camera. So it only went to the edge of these shelves. But then when I put in the new camera I had bought for the studio, it was a wide view lens. It went further out. So I had to rush to Walmart and buy these black shelves that don't go all the way to the floor. They're just bolted to the wall just to fill up space, where if I would have thought about it, I would have. And the thing that sucks is these boards here weren't cheap. They're even more expensive now because of COVID. I would have had them go all the way the whole length of it, but and then I wouldn't have used the backwood. I would just put stickers back there, It really sucks when the pump goes up. That's exactly why I bought 2. So, funny story, when we first moved to Indiana, not first, when we first moved to Indiana, we bought our first house, me and my ex. We bought it in Newburgh. And there was a beautiful house right at the end of our street because we used to live on a dead end street. And the first house on the corner when you went to go turn, it was a beautiful house. We always talked about how much we liked it and this and this and this. It went up for sale. And we said, oh, that's a beautiful house. But it was way out of our price range. We said, oh, we hope, somebody good buys it. Well, somebody buys the house. And I mean, it was a beautiful house. People had been there for years and years. We see them move in, and they're moving in all kinds of furniture and stuff like that. Well, about a week later, we see the moving trucks back. They're moving everything out. So we're like, what's happening? Why are they moving out? Turns out that the day after they purchased the house, the sump pump went out, flooded the entire basement, 8 feet of water, and they'd been storing everything they brought in the basement. So it essentially ruined everything. I was like, oh, so when I bought this house and I saw a sump pump and I saw that it did get water down here, I was like, okay, replace the sump pump first thing and buy a backup to sit next to it. So if the sump pump ever goes out, and I do have a water alarm down here that's connected to the app on my phone. So I'm like, if the water ever goes out here, I can run down here and just swap out the pump in 30 seconds, you know? Yeah. 6 inches of water everywhere. Yeah, so and I do use my sump pump because I dump my dirty water into my sump pump for my gold panning. So right around my discharge pipe for my sump pump, there's probably gold. There's probably gold in there. So one of these days, somebody's going to be changing out the line for the sump pump and be like, man, what's that shiny stuff? Is that gold? But all right, let's get ready for the giveaway. I will post the hidden link one last time. Make sure you go and leave a comment on the hidden video if you haven't already. This is for spot number 1 of 7 for a 1.6 ounce silver bar that I got from Cajun Bullion. Absolutely awesome, dude. Some really cool silver. So make sure you do that. Never get water in my basement. Yeah. So, I've never liked basements for the fact that some do get water, some don't. When I first bought the house, it used to get like an inch of water over the entire basement every time it rained, because they had the French drain was broken and all of the drains were draining into a broken French drain. So I had to change all the gutters. Now they extend 20 feet away from the house. So only during a heavy, heavy rain. So like I have a slab porch in front of my house that is cracked and sloped towards the house. So when it's, 30 feet by 10 feet of concrete that pushes all the water towards the house when it rains. And, it's not something I can do, breaking it up and hauling it out. So it's just, it's one of those things where you're like, do I want to spend $1,200 paying somebody to come break a whole bunch of concrete, pull it out from my house just to stop water from being against the wall of the house, and then have to build a new deck, So it's just one of those things. I've always got something else to spend money on with the kids, Once my kids turn 18, 19, 20, 21, and they're all gone and moved out, then yeah, I can sit out there once a week. Let me go out there with a sledgehammer, break up some concrete, throw one piece in my garbage can a week and be like, okay, in 5 years, it'll be gone, So yeah, but basements are like that. You can get basements that are perfectly dry, never have any water in them. Then, just depends. So we've get fledging here occasionally. Yeah, and like I said, it's only when there's a ton of wet. Like if here, it has rained here for today is the first day it hasn't rained in 8 days. And it's going to rain again tomorrow and the next day. And it's surprisingly, I've only got one little stream in my basement, and that's the water from the front porch that comes straight in. There's one crack on each wall. And the cracks are right with the ground level. So it's not even like they're cracks all the way down the foundation. It's just a crack that goes down. And I don't want to patch it because I could patch it with the, there's some industrial strength, like silicone you can put in there. You put plugs and everything. And I could do that and seal it, but the water pressure would always be on it and they'd eventually fail. So I have to, get rid of the reason why the water's there. And that's a 30 foot by 10 foot slab of concrete that is pushing all the water towards it. So one of these days, then my basement will be dry. So before I ever sell my house, I will fix those issues so I can, have a dry basement to sell. But all right, hidden video. Okay, so we got to say bye to the gold for right now. So let's say bye to the gold. There we go. Let me make sure everything is all up and ready. I need the link. Where is the link? Let me make sure all the comments are going through. Looks like YouTube worked this time. Awesome sauce. All right. And there we go. So we're going to shrink down the ugly mug. I'm going to move that to here. Now let's do the giveaway for spot number 1 of 7. And again, if I pull your name, you must post a comment in the live chat before the end of the show to claim your prize. So there we go. So there we go. Oh, as always, the famous Miller Prospecting website. Make sure all the Paydirt reviews, all my videos, mail calls, odds and ends, questions and answers, all my live shows are listed here. Everything is on my site. I buy gold if you want to sell me some gold. I'm kind of broke right now, so don't ask. Wait till next month if you want to sell me some gold. All my newest videos, my newest... Why is this on Gold Paydirt Battles? It's not. My newest review was Dave's high ROI. The stuff we went through today, it's high carat, Mexican gold. My battle between the Buddy Sluice and the Boss Sluice, definitely a good watch, and the Felix Paydirt. I think he's totally sold out of all his Felix Paydirt right now. So I'll be really curious to see what his prices are and the guarantee for his new bags when they come out. Top 10 recommended sellers haven't changed. They're all really, really good. Culver Prospecting, Gold Nugget Sales, Vendetta Prospecting, Gold Nugget Man, Brian Thomas Gold, Bear Prospecting, Goldbay, who we did tonight, Prospecting Gear, Flash in the Pan Paydirt, Yukon Alley, my absolute favorite, number 10, lover, and Mammoth Gold Nuggets. I think Mammoth Gold Nuggets is pretty much out of Paydirt right now. Yukon Alley still has some, but I know this is going to be a short season for her, so definitely get some while you can. And now let's do the hidden video, post the link, fetch the link, no replies. And good luck to everyone. Thank you for joining the live show. I really do appreciate everyone that joins the live show. Make sure you post something in the live chat if I pull your name. Let's see what it's going to be. 57 comments. Pick a winner. John Gear. Congratulations. No. I think my tablet's dying. And now with John Gear posted, we get to go back to the Miller Prospecting website. And the Ugly Mug. So Ugly Mug full scale. While we wait for John Gear. I'm sure he's already probably posted. Yeah, that's one thing. I told my daughter that when she was looking at houses and she was like, oh, we could tear this out. We could do that. I was like, one of the other houses, not the one she put contract on. I was like, you never touch anything. Once you touch something, there's something else behind it that then needs to be fixed. If you're like, I was looking at a house that had paneling in the living room. And she's like, oh, I'll just pull the paneling out and put sheetrock. I said, if you pull that paneling, you will find 2x4s that are slightly rotted. Then you'll pull those. And you'll find the beam above it is slightly warped. And you'll have to replace it. Then that will show you that there's, a bad panel in your roof. And you'll have to replace that. I'm like, no. Just paint it. Just paint the paneling. Of course, I am going to post. Well, congratulations to John. Let me write you down as winner number 1. So congratulations. So I think we're going to get close to ending the show. Again, tomorrow I will put up the Patreon gold guessing contest. You'll be guessing on the nugget. Let me put the nugget back up. Where's the nugget? There we go. We'll be guessing on the nugget there in that pan that is next to the gold dime. I will show it more in the video. So that will be tomorrow. We'll post that video. When I checked on Saturday, she only had 3 gram bags left. Yeah, she's selling out because they're getting ready. They're getting ready to go up there and start hunting for gold. But yeah, gold guessing contest will be up tomorrow. You will be able to guess even if you're not a paid Patreon member. You'll be able to guess on Patreon as a free member. So you can join my Patreon tomorrow when the video comes out, guess, and maybe win a little piece of Mexican gold. Saturday, there is no video. I have no video coming out Saturday. Next Tuesday, we're going to be panning out another bag of Goldbay. And then the following Saturday, we're going to be doing some Gold Baron. Yeah, this is all about the gold name this month. So yeah, so we're going to be doing some Goldbay this month and some Gold Baron this month. But for next Tuesday, we're going to be going through another bag of Goldbay. I think it's a 1 gram bag. It's one of the extras I had bought from the Paydirt Championship last year. So that's what we're going to be doing next Tuesday. Saturday, I guess we'll all just be watching Yukon Alley. She will be posting a video, I believe, this Saturday. So we'll see that. She is doing her videos as premiere. So if you go subscribe to Yukon Alley, make sure you put notifications on because she's doing a premiere every Saturday for her videos. So go get that. Thank you very much, Bierman. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mega Silver Stacker. Appreciate it. Well, it didn't blow up me out of water, but I got 5.53, and I know I saw one small piece get into my tailings. So that's not bad. You can't complain about 5.53. That probably got you like a 94% ROI. Depends with gold going down if you go spot, but But I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go do my grocery shopping. I hope everyone has an absolute great week. I hope you find some good gold, find some good gold Paydirt deals. If you're a Patreon member or you're thinking about joining my Patreon members, the gold guessing contest will be up tomorrow, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something like that, 6 p.m. Central. The post will be on Patreon as well, so you can post your guess. And then next Tuesday, we'll do another live show. We'll talk about what your guesses are and things like that. There will be no hints other than what you saw today in the live show. But I'm going to get out of here. I hope everyone has an absolutely great week, and I hopefully will see you all next Tuesday.